Good afternoon, YouTube. What's going on? It's your friendly neighborhood Mesa back at it with some Destiny. Guys, got a ton more Rise of Iron news coming out of Game Informer. Make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Besides my everyday Destiny videos, I'll be uploading tons of Rise of Iron news. So, there was a Game Informer Destiny podcast all about Rise of Iron. I will link that in the description, as well as a Reddit thread of someone named DJSCHXZO, that's the Redditor, who made a really nice summary, which we're going to go through and talk about right now of everything from the podcast. But I encourage you to listen to the podcast if you get a chance, but I'm going to break everything down for you if you don't have a chance to. And I'm going to read most of this verbatim and then chime in here and there with some thoughts and opinions, and I want all of your thoughts and opinions. First off, Tyra, okay, we saw images of her. She's going to be the new Cryptarch at Felwinter's Peak. Now, she's going to have weekly bounties to complete. Completing all of them in a given week grants you a token to spend on one of 3 new artifacts she has each week. You know, in those screenshots we saw, we only see 3 of the artifacts. We know that there were 8, and then people are speculating, what about Ephrodite's? Where's her artifact? I don't know, maybe she's still alive. Artifacts rotate each week, and it is assumed that you can stack tokens to use on a different week. Total of 8 new artifacts that she will sell. Game Informer described these bounties as not too grindy and shouldn't take too long to complete each week. Now we're going to get into more of the details of the Plaguelands, and if you've watched my previous videos, the Plaguelands is what I am most excited for. I love exploring new destinations. Here we go. The farther you travel into the Plaguelands, the more industrial and SIVA infested it gets. There are chests scattered around the Plaguelands that are mimic chests. Opening one of these will not grant you the regular glimmer, mats, etc., but something bad will happen, whatever that means. Don't know if there's a way to distinguish between a normal chest and a fake chest. So it looks like they're continuing with the theme of the Dreadnought of having chests all over the place, and I'm sure we're going to have to use things to actually get them open, figure out how to get them open, but apparently some of them, something bad's going to happen. What do you guys think they have in mind for us? Do you think we're going to open them up, one of these mimic chests, and then a whole bunch of devil splicers are going to come out and try to kill us, or are we going to just open it and then insta-death? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Now we got confirmation what the Dormant SIVA Clusters are, okay? New set of calcified fragments to collect in the Plaguelands called Dormant SIVA Clusters. Less than 50 to collect, don't know the exact number. Now I'm wondering what those things will be tied to. Is it going to be an exotic, kind of like the Touch of Malice, or is it just for year 3 moments of triumph? Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Now, Captain Obvious here, new dead ghost shells will be there to collect. To make up for the lack of Cade 6 quote-unquote humor dialogue, the ghost has been given more personality. Is that even possible? Come on, I miss Dinklebot. Also, Lord Garden Saladin has a lot of dialogue. So there's 5 main story missions, but there are quests that stem out after you complete the campaign. Similar to the Taken King, as there were only 8 main story missions in the Taken King. I know everyone's freaking out that it's only 5 story missions, but like in the previous Game Informer articles, there's going to be oodles and oodles of quests and side things stemming off from this main story. There's going to be a nostalgic scene or mission where you travel through the transformed locations of the Cosmodrome with your ghost. Also, not every location from the Cosmodrome has been reskinned and accessible during the new Plaguelands patrol. So far, we know we can access the Wall, the Divide, the Rocket Yard, the Refinery, the Blast, and the Devil's Lair. Don't know if you could travel to any of the other old locations. I'm guessing not. We're probably not going to go to the Steps, to the Forgotten Shore. That's probably going to be all cut off from us. We only will be able to go to what was just listed, which makes sense because we saw a bunch of that in the Winter Cosmodrome tour that Bungie did live on stream. Now, we already know the name of the raid. It's called Wrath of the Machine, and it could be summed up as being a collision of a raid. And it says, quote-unquote, smashing shit into other shit, as they put it. They also say that a good portion of the raid takes place outdoors, and you can actually see the raid locations during patrol and during missions. So that'll be pretty cool. I know on day 1, I'm going to be streaming it live right here on YouTube. My goal is to burn through the story and then start the quest, go check out all the new vendors in the Felwinter's Peak, as well as let's see, the tower, and then also just I want to explore the heck out of the Plaguelands. I think most of my stream on day 1 is going to be exploring the Plaguelands. Now also, Game Informer said they've got a few more videos coming out, okay? And one of them is going to be interviewing the raid team about their process of designing the raid. There'll be no spoilers in that video. Also, another video coming out very soon interviewing the story team behind Rise of Iron. They also talk about Archon's Forge, which I did a whole video about, or most of that video is about Archon's Forge. It's a new PvE arena. It's kind of a cross between the Court of Oryx and the Prison of Elders, meaning not as small as the Court of Oryx, not as big as the Prison of Elders. So it's going to be a mixture, okay? So it's not going to be, well, instead of fighting a boss like you do in the Court of Oryx, you're going to fight waves of enemies first, then you're going to fight a boss at the end. And the Archon's Forge is basically the size of the Prison of Elders arena. So less focus on mechanics like the Court of Oryx bosses and more focus on just killing things. So like I said in my previous video, the Archon's Forge is going to be a player-activated public event in the Plaguelands, and there's going to be different difficulties, so kind of just like the Court of Oryx. Now, I covered this in my last video. New strikes take place in the Plaguelands, have different routes that open up for each run. For example, in the podcast, they mentioned that their playthrough, there was a part of the path that splits up, but only one path was open. Bungie told them in other playthroughs, the other path door could be open. Strike has to do with SIVA and Hive. Yeah, I mentioned that in my previous video. It's basically the SIVA, or Devil Splicers, are trying to infect the Hive. Now, Fogoth and Antiseptic Prime, as I used to call them, are coming back. So, Fogoth Strike on the Moon and Sepix Prime Strike on Earth have been revamped and brought forward into Year 3. Both strikes have gotten graphical overhauls, audio overhauls. For example, the opening dialogue is different from those strikes and involve a lot of SIVA. Both bosses have been SIVA infected. So we know that it's not Antiseptic Prime, I think it's Sepix Perfected. Now, for the Crucible, we got a new Crucible mode called Supremacy, and it's exactly like Kill Confirmed. It's saying, kill a Guardian, pick up his or her fallen engram to score a point. If a teammate dies, pick up their fallen engram to deny the other team a point. Don't know if you get points for kills, or if it's anything like Kill Confirmed, where you only get points for picking up a fallen token, dog tag like in Call of Duty, engram in Destiny. Yeah, we gotta wait and see for the actual live stream that's coming out of Gamescom, which I believe is on the 17th. We'll know more about Supremacy. Now, there's going to be a lot of new gear sets, okay? So, obviously, we're going to have the Raid, we're going to have Iron Banner, we're going to have the Iron Lord set, which is from completing the Rise of Iron record book, okay? And also, the Archon's Forge, the player-activated public event, is going to have its own gear set also. And then, obviously, the vendors, they're going to have their reset gear, too. Now, the Rise of Iron record book works just like the Moments of Triumph, okay? It's going to reward shaders, emblems, and of course, the Iron Lord armor set. So, as you go through the quests and story and so forth, I imagine you'll see a completion percentage on the front of the book. Once you complete it, then you got everything. Then we learn a little bit more about ornaments, and they're going to work just like Chroma did and how Chroma was introduced in the April update. It's an upgrade slot on special gear sets, exotic armor and weapons, the Iron Lord's armor set from the record book, and the raid gear. This is all confirmed. To change the physical appearance of a piece of armor and the color of the weapon, okay? If you recall in one of my previous videos, Chris Barrett did talk about how the ornaments are kind of a way to change the geometry, okay? So it really can take your weapon and make it look totally different and really customizable. You know, like when someone sees your XYZ exotic weapon, it may look completely different than someone else's of the same weapon. So I think it's really cool. I like how they're going with the customization stuff. I always said when the April update came out, the end of the video means babble mode, it's the best my Warlock has ever looked. So that is the meat and potatoes from this podcast, and also thanks to the Redditor, which will be linked in the description, as well as the podcast and the Reddit thread that breaks all this down. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of all this in the comment section. The hype just keeps building. I'm trying to play other games right now, but I can't because I'm too hyped for Rise of Iron, which is leading into me playing Destiny nonstop. Drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa. Check my stream. Links will be in the description. And that's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir.